Again, Year 8. Today we are going on to applications. Now, what we're going to be doing in this topic is we want to be converting these word problems into expressions for the first example, but after that we want to be making our equations so that we can solve them. Okay, so let's start with example number 1. If t is a whole number, then we want to write down the value of the number which is 15 less than t. Now that word less means that I want to subtract something. Okay, but the order that is written in it looks like 15 take away t. So that would mean that I'm starting with 15 and I want to have t less than that. But that's not the way it's worded. It actually says that I want 15 less. 15 is the one that we need to subtract. So that means we start with the t, and 15 less means I want to subtract 15. Part B, we want the number which is 15 times. Okay, so that word 15 times is obviously a multiplication sign. 15 times as large as t. So that would be 15 times t. But we don't like to, in algebra, we don't really like to put the multiplication symbols in there if we don't need to. We want to write it as short as possible. And the shorter way to write that is just to put the 15 and the t next to each other, like that, 15t. Okay, so in example 2, we want to make an equation here. It says 5 adult tickets for a film cost $55. How much does each ticket cost? So we need to decide on a pronumeral, a letter that we're going to use in this equation. Now, what we're trying to find is the cost of a ticket. Okay, so that's what our letter is going to be, this cost of the ticket here that we need. So I'm going to call that x. Okay, x is a good letter to use. So the cost of the ticket is going to be x. I have 5 tickets. Okay, so that means I want 5x because each ticket is x, remember? So we have 5 tickets or 5x. That makes a cost of $55. That means that's equal to 55. Okay, so there's the equation. It's just a one-step equation. I need to get the x by itself. So I need to divide by 5 to cancel that away. And I get x is equal to 11, which is the cost of the ticket. Now, because this was a word question and x was a letter that I kind of introduced in here, you should explain your answer at the end. So we use the little 3 dots like this, which means therefore each ticket, because that's what I was trying to find, each ticket costs $11. Let's look at example 3. A number is doubled and the result is 10. What is the number? Okay, so that's what we're trying to find. We're trying to find that original starting number. So you can call it any letter you like, but I'm going to stick with x. Okay, x is going to be my number. The number is doubled. That was an important word. Doubled, to double something, that means that we want to times it by 2. Okay, so if a number is doubled, I want to go 2 times by x. But a shorter way to write that is simply 2x. Then it says the result is. That's another way of saying equal to 110. I've made an equation. Now I want to solve it. So I need to get rid of the 2. So I divide by 2 to cancel that off. X is by itself. Oh, let me write that neater. X by itself. And 110 divided by 2 is 55. Okay, so again, x was a letter that I introduced, so I need to write a little conclusion here. Therefore, the number, because that's what I was trying to find, the number is 55. And it makes sense because it says a number is doubled. If I double 55, I am going to get 110. Example 4. A number has 4 subtracted from it and the result is 6. Find the number. So we're trying to find a number again. So that's what's going to be the x that we're trying to find. It says the number, which is x, has 4 subtracted. So that means I have a number, 4 is subtracted, so I subtract 4. And the result, that means equals, is 6. So equals 6. Solve the equation. I need to plus 4 to cancel that off. X is by itself and 6 plus 4 is 10. Write the conclusion in words. So we say, therefore, the number is 10. Oh, very messy writing. Okay, question 5. A number is divided by 2 and the result is 9. Find the number. Okay, we're trying to find that starting number. We're going to call that x. My number, which is x, is divided by 2. Now, the best way to write divide is as a fraction when we're making an equation. So that means divided by 2. The result, which means equals 9. Now, divide, the opposite of divide is to times by 2 to cancel that off. So then we have x by itself, and 9 times 2 is 18. Don't forget the conclusion. So therefore, the number is 18. Because if 18 is divided by 2, then the result would be 9. Question 6. A restaurant has many tables which seat 4 people. If 56 people are expected to eat at the restaurant tonight, how many tables should be set up? Okay, so if each table seats 4 people, we want to know how many tables we need, because that's what we're trying to find. The number of tables, that's going to be our x. Now, each table can have 4 people. So that means if we go 4 times x, that would tell us how many people can sit at x tables. Now, we want to be able to sit 56 people. So that is the equation that we need to solve. Now, to get rid of the 4, I divide by 4 on both sides, cancel that away. X is by itself, and 56 divided by 4 is 14. Okay, so that means that therefore they need 14 tables if they want to be able to seat those 56 people. Question 7. Rowan has collected 1,794 beetles. This is 6 times as many beetles as Tia has in her collection. How many beetles does Tia have in her collection? So, we're trying to find the number of beetles that Tia has. Okay, so we're going to call that x. Now, if Tia has x, it says that Rowan has 1,794 beetles, but that is 6 times as many as Tia has. So 6 times whatever Tia has, so 6 times x, is equal to the number of beetles that Rowan has, which is 1,794. Okay, there's the equation. So I need to divide by 6 to get rid of that. X is by itself, and we do 1,794 divided by 6 means that Tia has 299 beetles. So we need to write that in words. Therefore, Tia has 299 beetles. Oops, double E for beetles. Question 8. Purchasing 5 apples and a $2.40 mango costs the same as purchasing 7 apples and a mandarin that costs 60 cents. What is the cost of each apple? Okay, so what I'm trying to find is the cost of each apple. So that is the pronumeral that I'm going to use. So the cost of each apple is going to be X. There is another problem with this question in that I'm given different units of money. The mango costs $2.40, so that's in dollars, but the mandarin costs 60 cents. Okay, so I can't have different units. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change that $2.40 into cents. Now remember, every dollar has 100 cents. So if I times that by 100, that would be 240 cents. Okay, so let's make our equation. Purchasing 5 apples and my 240 cent mango. So 5 apples means 5x, because an apple is x, remember? So 5 apples and a mango, which costs 240 cents. That would be the cost of my 5 apples and my mango in cents. It says is equal to 7 apples, so that's 7x, and a mandarin that costs 60 cents. Okay, so those two things are equal. Now I need to solve that equation for x because x is the cost of each apple. Now this equation is a little bit more complicated than some of the other ones because it has pronumerals on both sides. We have a 5x on the left and we have a 7x on the right. Now our rule for this was we want to move the smaller one. 5x is smaller than 7x. To move it, I need to do the opposite. It's positive 5x, I need to subtract 5x. Cancel that whole term off. Now that's going to leave me with the 240 equals 7 take away 5 is 2x plus I have the 60. Okay, now I have 2 more numbers here to move away from that x. So first of all, the 60. I would need to subtract 60 like that. Cancel that one away. I'm going to switch sides here. That 2x is going to come to the left. And 240 take away 60 is 180. Now I can get rid of that 2. So because it's multiplied, I need to divide by 2. Cross it off. X is by itself. 180 divided by 2 is 90. Now remember that is in cents. So X is the cost of an apple. So therefore, each apple costs 90 cents or $0.9 if you wanted to put it back into dollars. Example 9. Kate and Ben have a combined age of 60. Given that Kate is twice as old as Ben, find the ages of Kate and Ben. So there's 2 things here that I want to find. I want the age of Kate and I want the age of Ben. Now I can't have 2 different letters in there. Okay, we only ever want to have 1 letter in our equation, even though there's 2 different things that I'm finding here. But it does tell me that Kate is twice as old as Ben. So if I start with Ben, if I call him the X, Kate is twice as old. So twice as old means 2 times his age. So she is 2X. Okay, now let's go back to the beginning of the question. It says, Kate and Ben have a combined age of 60. So when it says combined age, that would mean that I want to add their ages together. So Ben's age is X plus Kate's age, which is 2X, and together their ages combine to give 60. Okay, so I've made my equation. Now, I do have 2 terms with pronumerals in them, but they're both on the left-hand side. Okay, so all I want to do, because they're like terms, is add those terms together. So 1x plus 2x is going to make 3x equals 60. So to get the x by itself, I need to move that 3. So I want to divide by 3. Cancel that off. X is now equal to 60 divided by 3, which is 20. So remember that x is talking about Ben, okay, over here. X was Ben's age. So we have to interpret what we've just worked out. So therefore, Ben is 20 years old. But remember, we also want to know Kate's age. And Kate is, now remember, she's 2x. She's twice as old. So if Ben is 20, she's going to be 40, twice as old. Okay, example 10. The sum of 3 consecutive numbers is 252. What are the numbers? Okay, so I'm trying to find numbers here. I'm trying to find some numbers again. So I'm going to be calling that x. Now, this word consecutive, that is an interesting word. What consecutive means is 3 numbers that are right after each other. So for example, the number 3, 4, and 5 are 3 numbers in a row, so they are consecutive. But I don't know what my starting number is. Okay, I've called it x. Okay, x is going to be my starting number. Actually, I need to know what all 3 numbers is, but I'm going to make x my starting number. If the first number is x, the next number along from that would be 1 more, wouldn't it? So it would be x plus 1. Okay, so this is my first number. This is going to be my second number. And then I need a third number, which is 1 bigger again. So 1 bigger than x plus 1 would be x plus 2. Okay, so that's the third number. Okay, so the question says, what is the sum? So we have the sum of 3 consecutive numbers. So if these are my 3 numbers, I want to add them all together. That means that I have x plus 1, the second number, plus x plus 2, the third number, and that is equal to, it tells me the sum is 252. Okay, now we have got quite a few things in here that we can collect up. X plus another x plus another x, that is 3 x's. Now we also have some terms in there that don't have any letters, so they are like terms. Plus 1 plus another 2, that makes 3, a positive 3, so plus 3, and that is equal to 252. So now to solve it, I need to get rid of the 3 in front of the x and the plus 3 on the end. So let's start with this plus 3. We have to subtract 3 to get rid of that. So that gives me 3x equals 252, take away 3, which is 249. Now to get rid of that 3, because it's multiplied, I need to divide by 3. Cancel that off. X is by itself, and let's grab the calculator. 249 divided by 3 is 83. Okay, so remember that x was my starting number. So let's write a conclusion. So therefore, the numbers are, the first number is 83, the next number is 1 larger, which is 84, and the next number is 1 larger again, which would be 85. And you could check that. If the 3 numbers were 83 and 84 and 85, that gives a sum of 252. So it works. Okay, that's it.